What's up guys, it's your boy RedCloud. Today I'm going to give you guys a breakdown of the 8 classes in Aion 2 that are going to be releasing in the Taiwanese servers that are going to be available on the 19th of November. The NA version of Aion 2 will be available in the coming months. This should still apply to that release, and I'll be covering that gameplay when that comes out as well. I do want to let you guys know I'm live every day on Twitch, twitch.tv/RedCloud if you guys want to check me out there. Other than that, let's get into the video. Alright guys, first class that we're going to be talking about is the Gladiator. Now the Gladiator is pretty much a frontline DPS, wields a ginormous two-handed sword. And by the way, the character design for any of the classes is not gender locked. You can play each class no matter what gender you want. And then as far as the gameplay for the Gladiator goes, yeah, this is pretty much a melee, close range character. I'm assuming they're gonna definitely have like a dash, you know, whirlwind attacks, leaping attacks, stuff like that, things to allow you to get close to your enemy while still doing maximum damage. Sure, they're definitely going to have some defensive skills, but most likely they're definitely going to be, you know, just a pure DPS class. They're definitely going to be a very popular melee DPS class for sure. This next class is the Archer or Ranger class. This is probably going to be one of the most popular range specs in the entire game. Essentially, it is an archer, traditional archer in most MMORPGs. However, this one does have quite a lot of movement and some really cute skins, by the way. I do want to let you guys know I'm going to be playing a cleric later on. Let me know in the comment section below which class you're going to be playing in Aion 2. Without further ado, there's some cool abilities like that Phoenix shot. I don't know if you guys saw that for the gameplay. And as far as like the movement goes, the archer definitely has range, but has that good ass movement too. So definitely excited to try out the archer eventually. My girlfriend's actually playing it as well, so that's gonna be pretty awesome. This next class is the sorcerer. If you guys don't know, it's pretty much like a mage, a wizard, any type of like magic caster. This is that kind of character. If you're first time playing Aion 2, essentially they are a squishy class that does a lot of damage. They have a lot of CC. They probably have a lot of escapes. Maybe some get out of jail free cards, stuff like that. However, from what I can see here, they've got some fire spells, some ice spells, some lightning spells and all that stuff. So hopefully we can see a little bit more of that when we go in depth with these classes. I will be doing in-depth guides on most likely all of the classes, and specifically let me know if you guys want to see one specific class guide later on. But sorcerer does look really cool. It's going to be a long-range caster. Super exciting to see that. Now we've got the complete opposite of the sorcerer, which is the assassin. So assassin is a close range melee character with dual wielding daggers. In some cases though, you'll see that it's actually, you know, Swiffers. So that's pretty exciting to see that they've made some like kind of like meme skins. But it does look cool anyway, like honestly, even if it is kind of like a little jokes aside kind of thing. They're going to be excellent for PvP. You can see here that they have a dash, an ambush, and a bunch of burst. So they're going to be doing a lot of damage. Definitely probably going to be very cooldown reliant, but they have an insane flurry of attacks. So definitely going to be a very fun class for PvP and for anybody who likes doing a lot of damage in a very cool manner. And now this is the class almost opposite of the assassin, where they are a Templar. This is the only tank in the game, dedicated tank in the game, where they can essentially take as much damage as possible and do decent damage. However, they hold aggro the best. They can taunt, charge in, actually reel people in, and absorb the most amount of damage. So they will definitely have some amazing survivability, if not the best survivability in the entire game. And then of course they'll be able to be viable in PvP because they'll probably have some good amount of CC and also sustainability as well. So obviously this is going to be a mandatory class in Aion 2, and definitely looking forward to seeing some Templars in the game. Next class we have the Spirit Master. Spirit Master is a wielder of 4 elements or multiple elements. They essentially shape the course of the battlefield. That's what their description is. They can levitate these 2 orbs that allow them to control different elements. They look like kind of like a hybrid mage essentially, except very like almost like spiritualistic kind of their way of doing damage. So it definitely looks really cool. They can teleport They use some darkness abilities as well, which is pretty rad. By the way, no one ever talks about this, but the monsters in this game look insane. They look absolutely insane. I just needed to say that. Spearmaster definitely looks interesting. We'll go more in depth with that later on. Now, this is my personal favorite class. Well, what's going to be my favorite class? Cleric. Cleric is pretty much a healer support. They can buff, do heal over time. They can summon some spirit allies that allow people to be healed from it. They've got some super cute skins, by the way. I'm very excited to be running around like that. And essentially, they are the dedicated healer of Aion 2. There is another class that can heal. However, this is more of a specific dedicated healer to Aion 2. So she looks really cool. However, even if she is just a support, it can actually do a lot of solo gameplay just by itself. So it can do damage with those like allies that I was mentioning that it can summon. So it's going to be pretty interesting to see. Now, this last class is the Chanter. Okay, the Chanter class is essentially a hybrid class where they can do damage but also support, buff allies, buff themselves, pretty much empower themselves and their allies, while also just doing damage as well. They are actually a melee class as well. So even though it sounds kind of like misleading with the Chanter, they are a melee class. I thought they would be ranged, but they are not. So they use a staff to do their damage and a bunch of like hybrid damage that they've got going on, some debuffs, buffs, and all that stuff. So really cool, fast gameplay that I'm seeing here with that class. Definitely going to be interesting to take a look at it. This will most likely be my second class that I end up playing. So guys, without further ado, that is the 8 Aion classes that are going to be coming out for Aion 2. I'm very excited to see what this game has to offer. If you guys would like any specific guides on any of those classes, let me know in the comment section below. I'm going to be mainly playing the Cleric on my stream at twitch.tv/RedCloud if you guys would like to check that out there. However, I will be exploring other classes as well. So be sure to like the video, subscribe for more content like this. Also, check out the live streams here on YouTube and on Twitch, as it definitely does help me out quite a lot. Other than that, thank you so much for your time. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Peace out.